it's Daisha D.
And it's Jay Stan.
Welcome back to In Retrospect podcast, where you look beyond the surface to find understanding.
Bring you laughs, knowledge, and culture.
So sit back, relax, and join the convo. So today we are joined by two very special guests straight out of Ohio. They're going to introduce themselves.
What's going on? It's D-Word back again. Excited to be back on another show. I got my partner with me today.
What's going on? My name is Young Scratt from Cleveland, Ohio. Coming strong from Cleveland, Ohio, Atlanta. Oh, yeah. So I'm happy to be on the show for the first time. What's up?
So we introduced y'all recently to a new segment called Let's Unpack This, where you send us your letters and we offer you some sound advice, or at least we will try. So we got a letter in from our first guy, actually. We've been getting the ladies, but now it's a guy. So it reads, hey, what's up, y'all? So I've been debating on having a conversation with my homeboy and my girl. Me and my girl have been together for about a year, and it's the first healthy relationship I've had. Her and I are very transparent with each other about our past, so I know the things she has been through as well as what she has caused. With that being said, I'm kind of side-eyeing her conversations with my homeboy. Now, my homeboy has been having some family and relationship problems that he doesn't like to speak on too much. Lately, I've been noticing his name pop up on my girl's screen. The first time he called her, she told me that he was just venting and needed a woman's perspective, so I was cool with that. But now, bruh's calling a little too often for my liking, and not only that, she makes it a point to make time for him. For example, we are chilling on the couch and here goes this man's name, or this man calling her. I told her to hit him back later, but she decided to take the call anyway. So now I'm pissed. I followed her out to the balcony, snatched her phone and told him we busy. This man gonna ask me if that can wait. He really needs somebody to talk to. I told him go cry to his girl or his mama. Now she upset with me, bro, acting off, distant from me, like if we're at one of our homeboys' house, he doesn't have much to say to me. It's like he's avoiding me. I'm really trying not to blow up, but something is up and this ain't sitting right with me. What y'all think I should do?
Okay.
Oh, for everybody? Or
everybody can talk. I'm still hold on.
Yeah.
I just look at the time.
Look, can I?
I would say these guys were friends, right? They're supposed to be friends.
Yeah.
He's not supposed to have his girl's number, period.
That's number one.
They're not supposed to have no private conversations.
That's number one.
And if he's already feels some type of way about it, his girl should acknowledge that. His friend should acknowledge that and cut it off.
That's 1B. Everything's gonna be one here, okay? Can I continue? Everything's gonna be one. It's gonna be an A, a B, a C. Everything's one though. Literally. All right, so from my perspective, like respectfully, I don't, on a personal note, I don't, even very close friends that I call brothers, I don't want their girls' numbers at all. I don't have a reason for that. If I'm gonna speak to that person, I'll speak when I'm over there with them out in the open, because I don't want any miscommunication about anything for me personally. And then it's just a little too much. She's taking the calls when they're spending time. Like, I mean, those are huge red flags. 1C. Let's go there. 1C now.
Yeah, 6 flags right now.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely. I'll let you elaborate. I'll let you guys elaborate before I go further.
Oh man, I mean, my main thing is like after a certain time, you know what I'm saying? Especially even if you're trying to conversate with somebody, especially if it's your homeboy's girl or whatever. And even people in relationships, I don't contact people probably in my head after like 9 o'clock. If the dudes start getting dark, and matter of fact, if they're spending time with somebody, you hit them up next, people's imagination start to run wild, even if it's innocent. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a dangerous game, boy. Like that's wild as all get out. And what blew me, I picked the phone up. We busy. Can it wait?
Hey
man.
You know what's crazy? Go on what you're saying. What's crazier is, why is she not checking this as well?
Okay. And maybe I'm being a little too understanding.
I'm sorry, hold up. And it's just like, my thing is this too. It's just like, do she not respect him enough?
That's what I'm
to
saying.
be like, yo, like, does he not have like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know Buddy personally. I'm just saying, you feel me? He got to have some type of backbone or something. I know he just ain't letting her, do whatever. I mean, there got to be a respect level somewhere. Because right now, it's just.
I think he should have shut it down. I think he should have shut it down from the beginning.
For sure.
Yeah.
But he has to co-sign that. Like, hey, look.
Example.
If she's gonna be okay with them talking, or he's gonna be cool with them talking, it's got to be cut off times. Or if that's the case, I'm not cool with it.
Example. I would never call his girl and say I wouldn't have a conversation with her at all. Whether he's there, whether he's not there, me and her don't have nothing to talk about. If she's there while I'm talking to him, I say, hey, tell wifey, I say, hey, what's up? What's going on?
Definitely.
That's it. That's the end of
it.
So,
I can't wait to hear you.
So I was gonna say, I get where y'all are coming from, but I think that we are jumping to conclusions a little too quickly. So first off, I wouldn't mind my friends having my boyfriend's number. Only reason why I say that is because of emergencies or things happening. I've done that before where I was in a relationship with someone or the opposite. I was in a relationship with someone and they had my friend's number just in case of any type of emergency. That's it. Now I do agree. I wouldn't personally feel comfortable with talking to my dude's homeboy for hours or, whatever at the time. It just feels weird. But I feel like before jumping to a conclusion, you have to set a boundary. It's not fair to go yelling down somebody's throat before you actually said that it's an issue to begin with. Because some people may not look at that as being inappropriate. They may look at you as being insecure. So I don't know. I think I'm just saying maybe having a conversation and setting a boundary first before blowing up on the two of them.
I want to back to you. You make good points. I also say to go with that. Once we're sitting down watching TV and she's like, no, I have to go take this call. Like, you're prioritizing him over us. That's a no-no. So it's not even coming to like guessing. This is the facts at this point. These are the facts.
Yeah. That definitely was inappropriate. But at the same time, we don't know what's happening because he did say he's not opening up to anybody.
But this
he's
might
not sharing anything.
Like I had a female call me insecure when I asked her about something and she was cheating. So that gets thrown around. Not saying that you're throwing it around loosely, but that gets thrown around loosely.
Yeah.
Especially when they're wrong. And then it looks like, okay, so was I being insecure? Or was she real?
Yeah, and that's why I said I definitely agree with boundaries because I also don't necessarily like dudes. I am not all that attracted to dudes who have more girlfriends than guy friends. Because I feel like 9 times out of 10, some of those girls, something done happened.
So some of them girls, what? What do you mean by that? What are you talking about?
I feel like my experience, dudes who have more girlfriends than guy friends have had a whole phase. If it's not still going on, they've had it. And not only that, either they have slept with some of those girls or some of those girls are waiting for their turn.
Is that the same for females? And
vice versa? Yeah.
I feel like it is. I hate to say it. Okay, I feel like it is because I feel like women are able to have genuine platonic, not that men can't, but I feel like most women are able to have genuine platonic friendships with men without any expectations of being next.
That's a good topic too.
Yeah, but you know what they'll say. It's always a such thing as being too friendly. Of course, and you just got to nip that in the bud because there are people that are a little too friendly when it comes to what they like. You know what I'm saying? And some people may not notice what they're doing and they get carried away because they're just friendly by nature. But at the end of the day, I feel like it always comes back to a respect thing. Like if you with somebody, you should know better than to do certain things that could possibly trigger this person.
Perfect.
Even before like you even got to say anything, it's like, listen, good and well, if you do this,
perfect.
something is down. You about to get a reaction from me.
I I agree with her. It is females out here that don't have it. They can have male friends and they don't have the expectation of sleeping with them. But us guys, we know how to turn that on, turn it off. You know what I mean? And I'm just being real because I've done it before. Before I got married, I've done that before. I was cool with somebody. Just I was always there as a friend, and I knew eventually she was gonna give in, but I never said anything. Never said anything, but I knew in the back of my head, like, okay, I'm gonna eventually get that, but I'm playing it cool because we just cool.
Speaking of boundaries being crossed, at this point, everybody has seen it over and over again. The slap heard across the world. Chris Rock and Will Smith at the Oscars. Chris Rock decided to tell a joke that was not approved about Jada Pinkett Smith. I think he said something about G.I. Jane 2. I'll see you in the next G.I. Jane 2, referring to her haircut, which is bald. And Jada has talked about her struggles with alopecia. And so that hurt her feelings. You could see that visibly. And so people are kind of debating about whether or not what Will did was okay, if their team Will, if their team Chris. How do you guys feel about that?
For me, I'm team Chris. And I say why? The only reason why is a place and time for everything. You know what I mean? It's a place and time for everything. If you on TV, the Oscars at that, and with us being black,
yeah,
can't show out like that because they expect us to do that. And for Will Smith to come that far, and he's a movie star. He's a big movie star. And for him to come that far, and I understand he's human. I understand that 100%. But at the same time,
where I'm going,
he was laughing at the joke.
Guess I'll chime in real quick. It's a lot to unpack here for me. It is, because I'm not making any excuses anywhere, but like mentally, I'm we all deal with things. So I don't know where mentally Will is at this point. I know you can see it on his face to me. Seems like he's been going through a lot of stresses, the August Alsina stuff and all this other stuff. And I'm not excusing anything. Definitely he should be, whatever they need to do to reprimand him for whatever he's done. I mean, for what he's done, they need to take care of that. But again, he's human. Sometimes when you're in that moment, it's hard to rationally think when you're in a moment where, you look to your left and your wife is maybe disturbed and embarrassed in front of the world. So I feel like at first he felt it was funny. He looked to his he looked to his left and he saw her disturbed. And now it's like, well, am I supposed to just continue laughing at my wife, or am I supposed to actually defend my wife's honor? We take those vows at the altar, and I think he just reacted, and I don't think it was like a planned out reaction. It's just the emotional reaction. Obviously, he's apologetic for it. Obviously, he felt that he didn't do the right thing. Yes, he could have talked to him afterwards, but we're all human, and sometimes we react in the moment.
Yeah. Justin?
Yeah, I would definitely say probably the right reaction, just the wrong time. If you feel a certain type of way, in my opinion, it's just like, yeah, we don't know how we're going to react when the time comes, but you still have to have the mental fortitude to realize that you have a lot of eyes on you at this current moment. And what I'm saying, on live TV, bro, like, that's hard. That's hard. And then on top of that, it's like we always try to tell ourselves is that, especially as black men and black individuals in general, that you got to work twice as hard for a lot of things out here, that you got to think before you react most of the time. And it's kind of it's really unfortunate, not kind of, it really is unfortunate, because Chris Rock wasn't given the opportunity to correct himself. There was no space for correction.
That's a good point.
It's just like, if you wanted to walk to the back of the stage and be like, hey, like even during commercial break or even during the show, like, hey, what you mean by that joke when you were discussing my wife? And he would have either said, oh, I'm sorry, man, I didn't mean it like that, blase, went back out on stage, apologized, corrected himself. Or he could have said, oh, man, screw you, blase. Then you could have sounded off on his behind backstage, because this wasn't a good look, because you got a black eye from this whole situation based off of, your emotions. And I mean, emotions are hard to be tamed. But I will say one thing. Ain't no grown man finna walk up on stage and slap me like that.
That's
I'm
right.
sorry, I would embarrass the whole community, boy. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Ain't no way.
So I agree and disagree.
Ain't no way. I would embarrass the whole community.
So first things first, I don't think that it was a secret to Chris Rock that his comment would have pissed him off, because if you watch the video, as Will is approaching him, he's like, uh-oh. I feel like that reaction.
Oh, Richard. He called him Richard.
Yeah, I think that reaction tells me that some type of conversation was had, because they were friends, or they are friends. And not only that, this isn't the first time that he's made comments about them. And like, I don't remember if it was Justin or Darius that said it, but he's human. They have been scrutinized, especially since 2020 on the internet, their entire family, but especially Will. And everybody has a breaking point. My thing is this: people keep saying freedom of speech, freedom of speech. There's freedom of speech, and there's freedom to get your ass slapped when you say certain things that are out of line. Like, that's just what it is. I'm not condoning violence, but at the same time, you humiliated her on live television. So in return, he humiliated you on live television. Yeah, he could have corrected him behind the scenes, but it doesn't hit the same. No pun intended. So I'm just saying. Also, the comments about, like, you know, well, we're afraid of how he's going to look in front of white people. I really could care less, because white people get to be flawed people. They get to experience every emotion in the book, and they are not looked at any differently. Why can't we? Great point.
Right. That's true.
I was saying just in front of people in general, because you got little kids sitting there watching him slap the taste out of somebody's mouth on live TV. Now you got little kids thinking, oh man, somebody said something crazy to me, I'm just slapping them right off rip.
Little kids watch wrestling, little kids watch shooting, little kids play shooting games.
But I understand that, but you also have kids out here that think, okay, Will Smith does it right, so that's the way that it needs to be done. There's always some kids out there. I know what you're saying. I understand. You say, yeah, they shooting, killing, this, that, and the third. But you got kids out there be like, well, I slapped him. Why did you do that? Will Smith did it. So it's fine.
I doubt that there's any child out there that slapped a little boy in their class who say because Will Smith. And if they did, I mean, hey, Will Smith is not here to raise your child. You said that the last time Darius was on, like, celebrities are not here to raise your child.
Yep.
But they still gotta take responsibility of who they are.
They do. And I mean, he apologized, I'm sure, to save his butt. I don't know if he was actually I don't know that he was actually sorry, but you know.
Because he said, because this is what I think the part that rubbed a lot of the comedians the wrong way was, like, you know, after the slap, he said his speech, he apologized to everybody but that man, but Chris Rock is who I'm referring to. Because, you know, like I stated earlier, like, at least get a man some time to correct himself if there was correction needed to be made. Because he could have came on live TV and apologized to the family, this, that, and the third. A correction was never made. So then he moved along, went to his speech, apologized to everybody but Chris Rock. And then as the night progressed, he didn't slow down. He won the Oscar. He did that, gave his speech, and then he went out and partied that night. And it wasn't until the next day when people started saying, yo, like, are you going to apologize for slapping this man on live TV? Then the statement was released. So it's just like, and then you got publicists for that. So you're just like, bro, did you apologize? Or did the publicist type that up?
I mean, but he won the award like 10 minutes after that happened. So I feel like his emotions were still all over the place, and he might have still been processing that. I don't know if his mind was like, all right, I need to do this, do that. I don't know if you've ever been in a heated exchange with somebody, but you're not always thinking rationally at all within that time. So
well, all I'm saying is, even when he gave the apology, he never like came out of his mouth like on camera, I would say, like apologizing sincerely to that man, because he doesn't think he did anything wrong. And granted, I do feel like, you know, he didn't do anything wrong, but it's just that it's a place and a time for that.
I'm with that.
Like, if you're gonna do that, like, there's no need to do it on live TV. Like, come on now, that man got kids. I understand he disrespect your family, but you can't be slapping a man on live TV.
Jada has kids too. And people have continued to talk. Like, I'm sorry, everybody's trying to be like boohoo Chris Rock. Just like he has kids, they have kids as well.
I never said boohoo Chris Rock. All I was saying was
I feel like that's. Go ahead.
All I was saying was that you can't slap somebody on live TV. That's all I'm saying. Like, if you're gonna slap them, slap when the camera's off. That's fine with me. Don't slap them on live TV.
But that's what I'm saying. It doesn't hit the same, because that's just like when you see celebrities who get into a beef and they're like, well, if you disrespected me on like a radio show, I need you to go on another radio show and apologize because you have aired this out in front of everybody. I need you to own up and be accountable in front of everybody. I feel like that's the way people think in general, beyond Chris Rock and Will Smith.
Well, they're entertainers, so I know like images everything. It just depends, you know, as far as the entertainment goes. I mean, I know our guest could probably speak a little bit more on that as far as like importance of image and getting slapped on live TV and how that could affect your image.
Definitely.
I mean, hey, Chris Rock, okay. And then do y'all not feel like Chris Rock is more white famous than black famous? Like he has more white fans?
I'd agree.
Yeah.
Okay, so him being slapped, if anything, that would help him with the white gays, because they're like, oh, poor Chris, we need to go support him. Let's go buy a ticket. I just feel like that's going to help him in that arena. I don't feel like black people are going to stop messing with Will. And even if they did, this man lives on a resort. He's fine. He doesn't have to do anything else other than what he's already done. So, but I wanted to take it a little further, because the other conversation that's coming up with this slap is protection. They're like, well, some people are not used to seeing Black women be protected out loud. Is this protection? And if not, what does protecting Black women actually look like?
You got some questions over there.
I like that question. That's deep.
All right. I think protection is per person. Again, what may offend my wife may not offend your wife, and it's basically knowing the limitations of your significant other, knowing what pushes, what they don't like, and basically making sure that's a safe space that you make sure that within that you know what I'm trying to say. You just got to make sure that knowing the other person, you just got to make sure everything around there is safe. I'm kind of giving a media answer because it is in a sense per person to me. What may be protection to you may not be protection. I think it's different per person for me.
Okay.
I guess protection in my opinion, is just that, making sure like it feels as if though like the space that women are in is safe. I mean, that comes in different forms and fashion. So far as like words per se, I mean, if somebody says something outrageous, like what was said, it's just like, okay, now this place feels unsafe for Jada in this instance, right? So, and Will's reaction was that I'm gonna slap him to make this a safer space, or to make her feel at ease, or or to defend her honor per se. But I mean, there's different ways to do that besides violence, of course. But what it looks like, it just depends on the situation. And I know this is very cliche to say the situation, and you just go from there. But at the same time, try to do things within the law, of course. Don't do nothing wild that might get you some time and get you away from your people, your family. But just stay within the lines, of course. But it's just making sure the space is safe for women, just in general, making sure that they feel comfortable in the space that they're in.
Yeah, I would say, to piggyback off Darius, it depends on your female. You know what your female might, women want to feel protected, and you know what your woman wants you to do protection-wise. You know what she'll feel disrespected about. So yeah, it just depends on your woman, period. But no disrespect, period, is gonna be tolerated in my face.
Yeah.
I agree. I think it depends on the person, but I think overall protection doesn't have to be violent. Correct. I know I have to say, Chris got slapped and that's what happened. I get that. I don't condone it. But I feel like protection, like Justin said, could be emotionally or mentally. Also, I've said before, protection could simply be not supporting people who are determined to degrade Black women. Stop going on Kevin Samuels lives, y'all. Stop going to this man's page. Stop.
Is that the older guy that constantly bashes women?
Yes, that's the older guy that sits in the dark with a red light and tell everybody, this is why you're not married. This is why nobody wants you. Him. Stop supporting men like him. Stop supporting podcasts like Frank.
You know what Buddy said? Buddy said,
you know what?
Buddy said, you weigh 220? You a running back.
For him to have that kind of opinion on women, he's single, right? It don't make sense. He's single, right? Single.
He is.
Okay, so he's not gonna get a female being a what is that? What are those people that are like him called? What are they called? Narcissists, narcissists, and feminists.
Oh, he's definitely not a feminist. He's a jackass. That's one way to describe him. But not supporting men like that, or like even if you see conversations, let's say you're at a kickback and you hear a conversation that's disrespectful, offering some sense into that conversation. It could be as simple as that.
If you're gonna put input in, make sure, you know what I'm saying, tread lightly. Don't always put your input in a certain conversation. I'm just saying now, you might want to put your 2 cents in and you don't know what's going on, really.
No, I'm not talking about like if it's a couple fighting. I'm saying if it's a conversation with mostly men and they're clearly being disrespectful, if you have any type of sense, offering a different perspective into that type of conversation. But like I said, I don't think people are used to seeing Black women being protected out loud. I don't.
Yeah.
So
how would you have expected if the Will situation was you and your man was there and that was you and you felt some type of way? How would you have wanted to be protected?
If it were me and I saw him going to the stage, I probably would have preferred for him to snatch the mic, say something smart.
You have and stopped him from going up there?
If it me, yes. Knowing myself, yes. Even though in my mind I would have wanted him to slap him.
Yeah.
He knowing like this is his career, this is his moment. I don't want his moment to be ruined based off of me being uncomfortable. Yes, I would have been like, no. And like we'll have a conversation later. But even if he would have just said when he was yelling, even if he would have said that, that would have been enough for me. And then have a conversation later. I just wouldn't want him to ruin his own night based on, you know, Chris Rock's comments.
I feel like if Chris Rock would have defended himself, he'd have been well within his rights. The man walked up on while you were did the ultimate disrespect and slapped me on TV at the Oscars.
Yeah,
that's huge, man. Like, damn.
Yeah, we'd have been working. I'm sorry. At that point,
I feel like Will should, I think Will should send him a check. At this point, I think Will should send him a check.
It's getting to that point, bro. Like the internet.
But Chris Rock has money. Chris Rock has probably as much money as he do. You know what I mean? So it's like money not gonna solve it. Yeah,
it's a whole respect, man.
Yeah,
I don't know, man.
Meet me outside in the back, man.
Right. I don't agree with them, like, because I know they're holding like a whole meeting apparently about whether or not they're going to take his award, and I think that's a bit much because they've had plenty of white men who have won Oscars who have done much worse things, and they still get their Oscars.
With Will being Black, they're trying to make an example out of him.
Right, per usual.
I have a great idea. How about they do a boxing match and whatever they raise from that, they can donate it to what is her?
Alopecia?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, that's if they want to do that. I'm sure they would make.
Hey, good idea, Word.
I'm sure they would make bank.
Yeah.
Yeah. So over the last week, Blac Chyna called out Rob Kardashian and Tiger about not getting financial support. They both chime in, claiming to pay over $40K for school tuition and keeping their kids 6 days out of the week. Is this creating a false narrative about fatherhood? Are people misusing child support?
Yes. I would say yes, but I don't want to sound like a jerk because I know some women really need it, and I know there are fathers that are not active in their kids' life, and I don't want to be insensitive to their situation. But do some people abuse it? Yes, and I don't know Black China's situation fully 100% to speak on it.
Right.
That's true.
You know, so I'm not gonna be insensitive to the situation. So I don't know.
I agree. This is a very touchy subject. There are people, like he said, who do abuse it. There are some people who need it. There are some people who don't get it. There are some people who don't get support. There who are some people who are men are not there, and they definitely need it. I also want to throw in. You got to watch your words. I also want to throw in, like, I know some of these celebrities, and I'm not speaking about them. I just know some people get like crazy amounts of money a month, and I know that they end up living off of child support, and that actual money is to support the child and its, and the child's needs, and the child's needs, not the actual lifestyle of the mother that the mother wants to live. And I'll kind of leave it there, unless somebody else chime in.
I would say I don't think nobody needs $100,000 a month in child support.
Yeah, I agree with that. I also think when it comes to like the child support in some states, it's like, yeah, you can pay child support, but it doesn't equal visitation to your child. And when I hear misuse, my eyes, I feel like if someone's gonna pay, if they want to see their child, they should be allowed to see their child. Like, that's crazy. Like,
Yeah.
in some states, like, and I'm not just talking about from a man's perspective, it could be the other way around as well. Like, that's wild to me. Like, you got some states out here, somebody's paying child support, you can't see your own kids?
You don't even
want to see your kids?
As a father, you like, what people don't even understand is you don't even have rights. You have to go pay for rights to your child. A father has to go. I go through something similar to this. You have to go pay for rights to your child when they're born, bro. It's wild, bro. It's wild, but I pay child support. Wow, bro.
I don't have children, but
I don't have kids either. But I just know a lot of guys going through it.
But I was gonna say yes, but I've seen it. I've heard the outcries. I've heard the venting from moms and from dads. In this particular situation, though, both of them are paying over $40,000 for school tuition, and they both keep both of the kids 6 days out of the week.
I don't know what
I'm not sure how much more support she would want. But that's interesting. I do think that they need to work on certain laws, I guess, because you're saying that you feel like men don't have as much rights to their kid. And it could be because 9 times out of 10, the mom is the primary parent, which isn't fair, but I think that's why it's like that. As far as misusing child support, now, even though I don't have kids yet, this is the part that I kind of disagree with. So I'll see dudes be like, if I'm giving you this amount of money for my child, it shouldn't be used for groceries. It shouldn't be used for your bills. I disagree with that, because a part of supporting the child is helping with that household. Like, they live there. They need food. They need clothes. They need water.
Okay.
Would that not go towards that?
Yeah. And I also will say this too, though. An issue that does pop up with all that, and I don't disagree with anything that you just said, is that you do have a lot of men or women, it could be vice versa, but predominantly men that are trying to do better, but when they get put on child support, and then all their money has to go towards the child support, but then they also are trying to get their child stuff for these holidays that are coming about, and it's like, I can't afford it because I'm giving the child support on top of this, and now I have to figure out a way to make sure my child doesn't feel like, oh, he ain't give me nothing. Yeah. So I'm giving you everything I got.
The bad part, jump in with him too, is the bad part is like, cool, like, so like women get, some women are in position to get subsidized living, food stamps, all this other stuff, right? And they be under the radar with certain things, right? And they get away with a lot of stuff just being under the radar when really, you know, it'd be other stuff, and I'm not getting into that. But for like fathers, you know, what I'm saying is, you know, they have mental things going on too. Like, you know, they're trying to take care of their bills. They're trying to make sure that their families are good. They're trying to make sure that, you know, that they can live a life and sustain a life too. Or you can flip it and go this way, like what you say. I agree. You know, I don't think you can say, hey, you can't pay this bill with that money. Okay, I get that. But let's just say a girl wants to use that money to be, let's say she wants to go live in a house that's already out, or an apartment that's really out of her financial restriction. So now I have to take care of that. Yeah, you know, it's touchy.
Yeah, the laws in place are interesting. It's just like, it's always based off of how much you bringing in. So say, for instance, all of a sudden, what you made last year done got bumped up tremendously. Now it's like, oh, we're going back to the courts. Just know, we got to get this readjusted. We got to get right. And then it's just like, are we really, because even then it's like, it's crazy. It's, you know, it's a slippery slope, and then it's not in every situation. Right. You know, everybody's situation is different. I will say that you got some people that co-parent really good, and it's just child support is just one of those things that is put in place in some relationships just to make sure that, you know, things are sustainable for the child and the mother or whomever's involved, or the man, that, you know, that they have the ends needed to provide for the child. But every situation is different though.
I was going to say, I would think that it's less expensive to pay child support and not be in the home than to be in the home. No?
It depends.
Like, I feel like it would be even more expensive. What I'm trying to say is, if you end up paying child support, I feel like it's going to be less than what you would actually be paying if you were in the house with that child.
Well, yes and no. I get what you're saying. Because you're there. I mean, being there every day is definitely a different. But you know, sometimes you never know what dollar amount they put on you for the child, right? So number one, that number two, even when the child comes to the house, you're still going to spend your money on your child. I mean, that's just natural. You're going to go out, you're going to do things, you're going to make sure that your child is known that
that time
cared for. So you're still going to spend extra money on top of that anyway. And yeah, you don't live there, but you know, again, it's a tighter situation because you're paying child support, you're paying for and I'm definitely speaking for the father. So you're paying child support, you're trying to take care of your household as well. He comes over, you're still spending extra more money than, you know, it is what here. You got to do what you got to do. So
it's interesting. I will say that it's very interesting. And yes, I do believe that people do misuse child support, but people also do use child support in a way that is beneficial for everyone involved. Because some people unfortunately need to have child support taken out in order for them to do what they need to do when it comes to supporting their kids. There are people out there like that. Like, if they didn't have that on them, man, you talk about what? You wouldn't get nothing for real. That's you really need it? You get nothing.
That's a good point.
Quick take on this. Speaking of children, there is a new non-hormonal male birth control that they're testing currently. They've tested mice, and it's been 99% effective. Would you take it? Why or why not?
I wouldn't take it because it's unnatural. And I think women's birth control is unnatural as well. So, no.
Okay.
No, I don't need no extra arms. Pop it out of that. I'm cool. We're not gonna talk. It's just already too much stuff in general out here. So no.
It's a no for me too as well. It's just like, nah, man. It's like, come on, this experimental drug. You gonna pop it out, be like, yo, take this, it'll get you right. Next thing you know, you can't, you know what I'm saying? You ain't functioning right.
Or you pop up with cancer or something, you know?
Something wild, bro. Don't know nothing. We testing this on mice. We're gonna start human trials. We are the human trials. Don't give me that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just wish that they would find safer ways to help with birth control other than, you know, medications, because I have taken birth control before and it definitely knocks you out of whack just emotionally. It's a lot. It's a lot.
It's unnatural. It's very unnatural. And my thing is this. I really don't think it should be birth control at all. I mean, if you're gonna have sex, you know what comes with that. You know what I mean? People just gotta just live that reality. I mean,
So yeah, if we can know where you going. Go ahead. I want you.
I mean, we are adults, right? I mean, people want to do the adult thing, gonna get a kid out of it. That's how we got here.
I get that, but if I can, so I work in mental health, but I specifically work with kids. I work with so many kids who come from families where their parents can't handle them. Like their parents have a lot of severe mental health issues. And then in turn, they pass it down to those kids. Those kids live a rough life and the cycle continues. So I believe in, if you don't need to have children mentally, financially, don't have them.
It's things that like that. I agree with that.
That's understood. That's understood. I understand.
Hey, people raped. What's you know what I mean? I'm just speaking as
I didn't hear you.
People get raped. I'm just adding to the conversation.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a real thing.
That's women shouldn't have to take birth control just because they're scared of getting raped, right? That's not natural either. It's wrong for people to be raped, yes, but it's wrong to say, "Hey, woman, get on birth controls just in case you get raped." That's wrong to say that.
It is, and also Black women have the highest rates of death during childbirth. So that in itself is another reason for us personally to not want to go through with that. I'm just saying.
I understand completely. Y'all go through so much stuff. Yeah. That's why I don't want to say too much because I don't want to be insensitive. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, you're good. Yeah. I'm just offering that other perspective because I know a lot of people are like, there are women who feel the way that you do as far as like, well, you know, just have the baby if you have sex. That a lot comes from that.
Yeah, he is right though. It is really unnatural because just like the side effects with the birth control that I've seen like women experience, like weight gain, mood swing, like it's like crazy because it's like it's not that time of the month and you experiencing all this stuff through the medication. I'm like, yo, that's crazy. Like you be like,
and then you the ladies that had a baby, right? And then they go through postpartum. It's like y'all don't get a break at all. Y'all have no break at all. It's sad. It's pretty sad.
Salute to all the women out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Justin, you had something else?
Oh no, that's all Justin got.
Okay. Well, thank y'all for joining us for this conversation. We're going to add their social medias in the description box below if you want to follow them, check out their music, ask them more about their opinions on what we discussed today. I have been Daisha D.
And it's been Jay Stan.
And join us every Friday at noon.
And always remember to like, comment, and subscribe.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Thanks for having me.